Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Akakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that told me this truth that rule well. Shalom to the elect scattered through the four corners of the earth. My name is Kwadash Payah, and as you saw, the ball, dark-skinned man looked like an Israelite, right, Jake, with the chinky eyes like the Moabites and the Ammonites, Japanese, Chinese, the Asians type nations. Here it is. They say a black Chinese person. Well, you can't be mixed, all right? There's no such thing as you being mixed, and, you are what your father is. No matter how he looks, whatever language he spoke, and whatever tradition he picked up, if he's an Israelite through the spirit, by blood, then, you got to have that discernment as well. Because you have a lot of our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the biblical Israelites, that were scattered amongst these heathenistic nations, and they learned their works, like it tells you, and I believe in Psalms 106, picked up their traditions, their language, their customs, right? But I left a comment, right? It says, it's not where / via the land you're born in that makes you of them, right, of that nation. It's more bloodline. It's spiritual. You had Afro-Samurais, but was black equals Israelites that didn't know they was. Our people pick up on heathenistic traditions because they grew up around that. Basically you become the product of the environment, right? But don't make them that. It don't make them them, right? We're always separated. It says, whatever a man is, so is his children. Read Numbers 1 and 18, which we're going to get. And so, it's not about the land you was born in. That's why the Lord is going to come back and save Israelites through the four corners of the earth. It even tells you that in the book of Revelations, where it says, we shall speak in different tongues. Why? That doesn't mean all the nations of the earth is going to be saved. That just means the Israelites that was in those lands that ended up believing is going to be saved, that might have spoke English, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Swahili. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that confusion lies, where the scriptures speak, about the Gentiles, and things of that nature. All right? So real quick, let's get that precept in the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. Right? It says, and they declared their pedigrees. Right? They declared their pedigrees after their families. Right? After their houses. Right? By the house of their fathers. You see? By the house of your father. According to the number of the names from 20 years old and upwards by their polls, right? So let's get that word. Let's go to the etymology. What's the word pedigree? Genealogical table or chart. All right? So that's straight to the point. A descent. Where did you descend from? Who did we descend from? It's not Abraham, where his name was changed, basically in Hebrew, Abu Rayam, meaning the father of many nations. When you read in the book of Matthew, the same Matthew, the 24th chapter, I believe it's around the first verse. But basically, all throughout the scriptures, it speaks about, who bared who, and it always was from the men. He begot him. Such and such begot such and such. Such and such, and that goes by the man. And then again, you also have tares, right? Because this chick, she was raised in China. She speaks Chinese, as you can see. She doesn't necessarily look Chinese. I don't know who her father is. Her father could be Chinese. Her mom could be black. That'll be a tear, But I think she's a Jake because she gives them flavor. Well, discerning from the video she puts up and how she talk, and she speak English too. But she even sat at the table with a bunch of Chinese people saying, I'm from Guyana, or no, Wakanda. Wakanda, the Black Panthers and all that. But you also have that too. Like a man could be, a heathen and marry a Israelite woman, but she would be a heathen because it comes from the man. But I believe her father is for Israelite. That possibly married a Chinese woman and she ended up stuck there. You know what I mean? But does that make her a heathen? Not necessarily. Right? That's why you have to have that spiritual discernment. Because most people that preach the words, they don't have that discernment. Let's get 2 Chronicles 31 and 17 real quick. Alright? Let's get 2 Chronicles chapter 13. No, chapter 31, verse 17. Right? So it says, both to the genealogy of the priests by the house of their fathers, right? And the Levites, which were the priests from 20 years old and upward in their charges by their courses. So it's always referring back to the house of our fathers. So someone from what house they came from. Who's your pops? Who's your king? Who's the king? Who you came from? I came from king such and such. So you bear that genealogy. You bear that bloodline. You bear that spirit. So that's why it's always referred to that. So there's no such thing as, you being mixed and, people try to use that to justify, oh, these heathens can be saved. No, ain't no heathens going to be saved, man. We all going to look. The Israelites, we look, that's why the scriptures refer to us as what? As a speckled bird. Because we all look different, talk different, right? Matter of fact, let's get Psalms real quick. 105. Salakia. Forgive me. Psalms chapter 105 and verse 6. Boom. Hold on. Right. Psalms 105 and 6. O ye seed of Abraham. And that's the spirit, because I just mentioned Abraham. Right? Because you had our forefather Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. It says, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. And you know what? We could get that. Salakia, bear with me. Salakia, we could get that in the blue letter, right? Real quick. Yeah, man. Just to get that word, right? Psalms. Now let's go. Bear with me. Sometimes the blue letter likes to act up. Oh my goodness, man. Whatever. Psalms. Hold on. 105. And 6. And it also shows you in the NLT. So we're going to do it like that. Boom. Right? Psalms 105 and 6. It says, let's read it in the NLT now. Remember the wonders. No. Salaki, verse 6. It says, you children of his servant Abraham, you descendants of Jacob, his chosen ones. Everybody, well, yeah, but they wasn't given the covenant. It says the descendants of Jacob, his chosen ones. So the Lord has a specific nation he chose out of all the families of the earth. That's why it says, I believe in the book of Amos, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I shall punish you for all your iniquity. So let's get that word real quick. Seed. And the interlinear and the blue letter, right? O ye seed.
Strong's H2233. Zerah. Zerah.
Right, exactly, an offspring. You know? Of a moral quality. Offspring, descendant, posterity, children. Are we not the children of the Lord? The children of Israel? You know? So, anyway, I just wanted to bring this out real quick. Hope this was edifying, straight to the point. Till next time, I'm going to say shalom.